cool. No, it is cool, though, because it provides an entirely new game mechanic. Digging. The players can now literally change the landscape of the game.
Pop, no one's gonna buy that.
So slight problem with this. They say that they're a few days from releasing this thing, and they're kind of just now learning about this. Now, I know there has to be a conceit, like this is a television show. They have to sort of, drum up things in different ways. They have to portray things differently in order to make the narrative actually make sense. So I get it. It's the ticking clock. But this would never happen. No one would ever just introduce a mechanic into the game with days left to go. Even sometimes when there's months, a year left to go, it's a bad idea. So I would, if I were in this meeting as a QA person or like a QA lead or something, and I saw them put this in, I would be like, really cool idea. I really love where you're going with this. We're probably not going to do that. Because I guarantee you give me something like that, I'm going to break the game in like 1,000 different ways with it. So like say the shovel, it seems pretty simple, right? Like it wouldn't be that big of a deal to let players dig holes in the ground. It could be a huge deal. So what happens if you dig the area out from under a tree? A tree's not a dynamic object. It's not going to fall. Does it just destroy itself? Does it just blink out of existence? Does it still just float there? What if you dig a really massive hole under a critical quest giver? Do they find their way out? What if they're supposed to be following you on a mission? Are they stuck in the hole and they can't follow you and you've basically soft crashed the mission? What happens if you are able to dig players in there and they can't get out, and they get stuck? Sure, in most MMOs there's a stuck command, but that's not something that you want to have to be super relied upon. And what if you dig a giant hole under a building? Most buildings aren't static objects. This is Red Faction. It's not going to fall apart and have great destruction. It's just not a good idea to introduce a mechanic quite like this so late in development. But I would not do this. It seems like a bad idea to introduce a mechanic like this late in development. It's just not going to happen.